So let's move on to the project then. The idea of the project was then that you're obviously communicating with people very much like our students, I mean the millennials, and so my understanding is that you thought, well, okay, let's see what they think.
Absolutely.
I mean, is that attractive for you? I mean, to get ideas from younger people?
I mean, as a marketer, it's always interesting to understand how people perceive your product, your market, and also in order to have a good idea, you need to have a lot of ideas. And when you pick the brain of all these students, you're sure that among all their ideas,
come up with something interesting. Yes, it's true. Actually, it's one of the reasons I'm a teacher. So the brief then for the students was that they should be working on a communication plan for the used games. And here we've got 3 different projects which were presented. And I'd be interested now to have your comments on the different projects. Clearly they're not going to be perfect. There'll be some good things and some bad things. Let's just take the first campaign, which is A, and have a look at that. I mean, what are your feelings about that? What are your reactions?
My feeling is that they explored different supports, different mean of communication between the flyer, the email, the advertising on billboards. So it's a good thing that they were able to see what were the different mean of communication, and on top of this, where they really I don't know if you say this expression, the push the envelope, was on the budget part.
Yes.
Where they really went into details on how much it's going to cost, per format. Mm-hmm. So it was a very good level of details, which shows that they spent some time with La Poste and understanding the cost structure, which is key because at the end of the day, the only thing that you look, is
how much is
the
it
numbers,
cost?
right?
Yes. Yeah, you have to as a manager. What about this FIFA tournament? Good idea?
Yeah, FIFA. I mean, we are in the video games, right? And video game is about experiential.
Yeah.
And creating a tournament in store is definitely a good idea. It's something that we actually do quite a lot, in our stores. So they are completely on target, with this idea. I would have liked to have maybe more, details on, okay, how many people do you think you can invite? How long it's going to take? What staff do you need? I mean, to go more into details, but the idea is definitely a good one.
Okay, let's move to the second one then, Plan B. As we say in French, the plan number B. Now we've got a range of there's quite a lot of ideas in here, quite a lot of visuals as well, which we can put up on the screen. So they've taken a very clear position and sort of taken it through different media supports. What's your reaction to that?
What I liked about this communication is I like their marketing approach of identifying the target and also interviewing people on the marketplace to find out what are the expectations. It's very marketing centric. Yeah. And the other main thing was their ability to come up with creatives.
Yes.
Out of the 3 plans, they are the one who went the further, in terms of what type of creative we can use. They have their script. They have, so that means that the message is important, but how you, transport this message is as important, and I think that they really went in the right direction, and it makes it more concrete. So I really liked this part.
Yeah, same quality, same pleasure. Can't tell the difference basically.
Exactly, and also the one thing, another thing that they did really well was going deeper in the description of the event that they want to organize.
Yeah, this is this big event that they wanted to organize in Paris in the Trocadero.
Absolutely. Yeah. So here you can tell that they spent some time of understanding, okay, how it's going to work, who do we need to invite, we need a DJ system. I mean, they went more into details.
There was a lot of detail in that,
and for me, it's kind of reassuring to see that, okay, they thought about this and it's not just throwing ideas on the table.
What about this idea of a gigantic screen there made up of old televisions? I don't know from a practical point of view how it would work, but I mean, it's a tempting thought. Is that something you find attractive?
On one hand, yes, because it's impressive, so people will remember, and we are about video games, right? So if you don't show video in video games, you have a problem. So the idea is really good there, and I think it tells us who we are. I mean, tell people who we are in video games. The one thing, though, where we need to be careful is the image of, if you want to identify Micromania at used / old / outdated, might not be the best thing to do in terms of branding.
Yeah.
So I would rather use a flat screen.
Yes. An enormous, great big flat screen or something like that.
And I think the misunderstood for this team was the fact that they thought that used meant old.
Yes.
And used means that you've been playing it. It might be just 2 months old. And you don't have 10 years old products in store because the console disappeared a long time ago. So you don't really want to go down this field of, Micromania, it's retro gaming.
Yes. No,
we are very new and...
it's seeing a little bit like a sort of second-hand motor car, which is obviously not the case. And for me, that came across very strongly in this idea of having this old television painted blue in this sort of Micromania blue and positioned in various places to get a bit of buzz going.
And you add to this the ecologically, I mean, it's not friendly. So
nice idea, but the brand manager would say,
For the brand, if I take my marketing director cap, I say not good for the brand.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then the third project, the third plan. There we get a very nice visual, which is a little bit edgy, a little bit daring. But how do you feel about the plan in general?
So I think they have a great way of analyzing the case. They spent also a good span of time on the targets, trying to identify what was the target. They understood the objective of the trading and the selling of used business. I like, even if my wife would disagree, does disagree with me on the visual, but but I think it was daring, and it's also what I expect, from agencies, is to take some risk and not to do something that is smooth and tasteless.
Yeah.
So this is risky, but if you manage this idea correctly, it can be very impactful. You need to avoid some traps. But I like the fact that they were able to take some risk.
Yeah.
The one thing though that I think can be improved, it's going more into details on the other ideas.
Yes.
So having the stopping power of the visual is one thing. Understanding the brief is also good. But I would have liked to have more details on the operational part of the ideas. And when they talk about a smartphone application, it's okay. Concretely, what does it do? When we do in-store advertising, for what period, how many stores? So going more into details, because it's really what I expect, from an agency, and not just throwing social media, this and that, but going a little bit further.
That seems to be the common message for all three.
In general, yes, except maybe for the Trocadero.
Where they actually did get
they
down
really
into
went
the
a step further. The others were kind of just throwing random ideas and hoping that one
would catch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just to finish on that, I mean, when is daring too daring for a marketing manager? When you look at something, you think that'd be really nice.
Well,
but
it's like humor, right? Humor is okay as long as you don't offend, people in front of you. So if you send this message to the right audience on the right channel, so not big billboard, but more a web thing and
more buzzy
on Facebook, but not your own Facebook, but someone else, etc. In PR, this is fine, and it shows the spirit of that we are in a video game business. We are, we try to be fun, and it's okay. But where it's getting a little bit dangerous is if people outside of your market sees makes the association between Micromania and this, and have therefore a wrong image of Micromania, because on the corporate side you need to take less risk, and this might be more tricky.
I can understand that. If you had to make a decision, and I know it's not easy, which of the three would you go for?
I would say with C, because they have a very good understanding of the brief. They took some risk, with the visual, and I guess that it shows that they have some creative people, in their team. But we need to use this creativity in the other field. In the other, idea that they had, and go a bit further in the execution part of it.
Okay, excellent. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Peter.